Good afternoon. My name is Giovanni Castillo, and I will be doing my research on Vavi Sport and Social involving superior and subordinate relationships. So, what is Vavi? Vavi is a subsidiary of Club Waka, which is a company that employs sports leagues throughout California and is expanding throughout the United States. Vavi is a subsidiary that exists in San Diego and North County of San Diego. And what Vavi tries to be is a company that is connection based. We are big on having people partner with us. We see our clients as partners. We have partnerships with corporations that in turn lead to projects of corporate wellness that me as an intern, I was tasked to lead that project. So it's in the name, Vavi Sport and Social. It is a sport and social company where they employ lots of sports leagues ranging from football, soccer, basketball, and their new one is kickball and flip cup. So what we as interns do is that we go and start up these leagues and we keep track of the social media. We post pictures. I was personally in charge with the LinkedIn profile of Vavi. So regarding kickball and flip cup, this is where the line between sport and social kind of becomes blurred because you have teams going out for a kickball game and right after they go to what is one of our sponsor bars and they play a game of flip cup, which is a game that is common among college students that drink. And so we have this New Year's Eve party invitation, which is organized by Vavi just about every year, which is a luxury party that happens on New Year's Eve until the countdown, where it is hosted at a resort and VIP members get to go to have access to the beach part and the yacht part of the party. It's a lot of fun. You get unlimited drinks, unlimited food for the ticket price of $120. And if you use the code Michael5, you get $5 off. So Vavi as a company, we've established that it is not just a sports league organization, but they seek to kind of have that social dynamic. And for that reason, they have the intersectionality that we see here, which is education, corporate, professional experience, and a fun environment. Education, because I interned at Vavi through San Diego State University, through the School of Communication. They're unpaid internship, and for that reason, well, I only get class credit for this. Professional experience, they like to state the fact that this is in fact a professional experience, despite the fact that we're not getting paid. They want us to have Vavi as our primary resume builder, the primary experience into our field of professional experience. They want Vavi to be that catapult into whatever career that we want. It's a fun environment, which I like to believe because they have group lunches. They have the interns involved in the meetings. We play a game of ping pong after the group meetings, and also the fact that it is corporate minded. We are driven by profit. We want to see numbers. I was in the first board meeting when when I first was hired as an intern. I sat in my first board meeting, which is where they discuss all the numbers pertaining to the company and its projected revenue sources, which involve partnerships with companies such as Coors Light, Urban Leaf, etc. So it's just kind of an intersection between all these types of different factors, and which is why I think that Vavi has a very unique workplace setting, and that's why I chose to study this place, and specifically superior and subordinate relationships, because my relationships with my bosses were not always so cordial, or rather, they were always professional and cordial, but at one point I did feel gaslighted, and I felt like I was not able to properly dissent that, and so I found myself in a weird flux with my superiors. And so the methods that I used were interviews with Felix Goodson, the vice president of the company. I used Danique, which is the head of the interns. And something interesting that I got from my interview with Danique is that she does not have a cordial relationship with her immediate superior, which is a full-time employee of the company. I learned a lot that she did not feel valued for her contributions, even though she felt that she materially made more contributions to the company than her immediate superior. And keeping in mind that her immediate superior is one of about 6 full-time employees for the company. So there was some tension that I felt between her being a European exchange student and having a lot more experience in the sports management field, and the other woman who I will not name. She felt also the same way that I felt about my bosses. She felt gaslighted when things didn't always go according to plan. The superior subordinate relationship, which I will be going to detail more, was kind of focused more on the board meeting, our first intern meeting, and on the job site, where I noticed these relationships happening in real time. So in the workplace, we employ a very team-oriented mindset where the vice president and the head of sports and management operations and they are more of the coach type, and they coach their full-time employees as well as the interns to buy into a game plan. That's why they have us sit into these board meetings, and these intern meetings happen so that everybody's on the same page and everybody has the same goals in mind. Why I also brought up the New Year's Eve party was because they wanted us to market that all over the place. That is ultimately the end goal for revenue stream, and some things that they really push on us. They've asked us to do a lot of Facebook posts, Twitter posts, Instagram posts regarding that New Year's Eve party, and they're saying like, hey, this is going to help the team, and in turn this will help you in the future. This is kind of like the board meeting setting that we were into, only that the round table was actually a ping pong table that we played ping pong in kind of a circle way. It's hard to explain, but the last one standing got their name on the board and a gift card. So it wasn't all just kind of bad relationships and stuff. There was a lot of positives that came out of this internship, and I believe that this unique dynamic does have its drawbacks because of that, but I also believe that it has a lot of positives to give for the same reasons. And this is just a picture of the actual office, which is located in the same building as the American Institute of English. That's just kind of like how they have a startup vibe. They've been around for about 15 years, and I think that's part of the reason that they have unpaid internships. But overall, I believe that this place has a lot of room to grow for its relationship building between its supervisors and its subordinates to have a better work environment for all involved. So the theoretical framework that I use is leader-member exchange through the lens of a coach and player, which I described previously through the VP and the sports and management, the sports operation manager. The trust in organizational superior just kind of goes back to that, having trust in that coach for the rest of the people having to buy into whatever the end game is. And then the superior-subordinate relationship, quality, and employee dissent. So that just kind of goes back to me and how I felt like I couldn't properly express dissent because of my scheduling conflicts, and how I felt gaslighted, and that I couldn't properly defend myself because they kind of told me in the end that I have to want this, as opposed to like not being able to be here as often. It was kind of taken in the context of, oh, you're not buying into the team, you're not buying into it the same way that these other interns are coming in 15, 20 hours a week. And even though I tried explaining this to them, they just kind of, it felt like a very manipulative type of conversation because I was cornered by one full-time employee, the vice president, and the manager. That happened about 6 weeks ago, and I was never able to properly express my dissent towards that, but I kind of appreciated the feedback because it kind of pushed me to be more effective with my time, even though in the end, their concerns about my time overall in the office was never improved. And so the implications that I have to offer from this study is that of unpaid internships, and do they really help, and how does Vavian specifically help me in the professional field? How does this intersectionality of a fun environment, corporate mindset, and team mentality really affect their employees or their interns, and what is it that they seek to give us from it. That is to say, what where does this unique situation place us interns? There's been mixed results with the interns. Some of them have gone on to have fulfilling careers, whereas others have kind of fallen flat right after leaving Vavi. They felt a little bit deflated from from what I've heard from other full-time employees. So this is kind of like my first-hand accounts. So I want to take a dive into this through theoretical framework and see what kind of lessons that I can take from being an intern at Vavi. Thank you.